Hi guys, it has been a while since I last showed you the figures that I've picked up while living in Japan. Honestly, I've not picked up that many since we last spoke about figures. My shelf back here is getting full. My shelf in the living room is getting full. I am starting to wonder where I'm gonna put all these. Eventually, I'm gonna look into the really nice glass cases that you might see at IKEA or Nitori or something. In no particular order whatsoever, this is the pop-up parade brand Koroni Inugami from Hololive. You may have seen actually at cons in the US even, and they're all over Japan, the pop-up parade figures. They are huge. It's crazy how cheap they are while also having really good quality. And they're really getting through, like that brand is getting through a lot of characters, like characters that don't really get a lot of figures. So I have a love-hate relationship with the brand because the figures are kind of small and they're not as nice as some of your more expensive figures, but they're a really cheap alternative if you want to get into collecting. And I really just try to buy one of them if it's a character that I really want, like Koroni Inugami. This was actually the first Koroni figure that I came upon in person. I had seen them online and stuff, but when I saw this at my local figure store, picked it up instantly. This cost me 4,000 yen. The yen is super weak to the US dollar right now, so I'm not even gonna guess that's normally like 38 US dollars, maybe less. Her design is already really cute, like her model, but Pop-Up Parade translated that into a figure super well. Her outfit is really nice. The colors I think are perfect. The color palette for these figures are perfect. And the face isn't weird. Sometimes when you go cheaper on figures, the faces can be really weird, but Pop-Up Parade, I mean, they're killing the game right now in terms of quality, especially with the faces. Eventually, I know I need to get the Pop-Up Parade Okyu that kind of, like, let's just be honest, it basically goes with this one. Korone needs a girlfriend to be on the shelf too, so eventually I'll get that Okyu one. Could not pass up Koroni Inugami. Also, because I'm pulling my figures off of the desk, this is the perfect time, as always, to dust them off, so I will be doing that. The next figure I got was this Yo Asakura from Shaman King. Oh my god. I was a really big fan of Shaman King when it aired on Flaxbox/4Kids TV back in the day. Would never have ended up watching it if it wasn't for Sonic X, and it came on like before or after Shaman King, so I just automatically started watching Shaman King, and it's probably one of my favorite shonens of all time. Because of the Shaman King remake that came out this year, there's a ton of Shaman King merch coming out in Japan, including these figures, so this all around is a really basic figure, although I did only pay 1,200 yen for it, like 10 US dollars, so that's nothing. The quality is not awful for it being that cheap, but there are way nicer Yo Asakura and Midamaru figures out there. This was just the first one that I remember coming out, and I think when I just saw it in the store, I was like, I don't have anything Shaman King. Like, I literally don't have a figure that represents one of my favorite shonen of all time, and I need it, and when it's just 1,200 yen, honestly, it's still not bad though. I love how classic it looks. It really just looks like classic Shaman King here, even though I think it is based off of the remake. Eventually, I would like to get a nicer Yo Asakura, but for now, I have to be a little bit careful with him. He's a little bit fragile. If an earthquake happens, the sword is just gonna snap in half. And now for something a little bit smaller, a lot smaller, and a little bit different. I have this Hakase from Nichijou. Nichijou figures, I've never really been able to find Nichijou figures until I came across this one at a secondhand shop, and I really think it was only maybe at the most 700 yen, so like $5 or $6 for this one. I adore Nichijou. It is one of the funniest shows I've ever watched in my whole life, and Hakase is probably one of my favorite characters. It also comes with this little Sakamoto cat on the side. There's nothing like too crazy special about it. It's small, it's simple, but it's Nichijou, and I just needed some Nichijou to be represented in my collection, and sometimes like this is like all it takes. Okay, going back to regular sized figures for a second. This is probably my favorite pickup of 2022. This is Elena from Maho no Tabi Tabi, and honestly one of my favorite characters of all time. I think her anime aired, I think Maho no Tabi Tabi aired in 2020, and geez, it just ended up being one of honestly my favorite shows of all time, easily in my top 10 favorite anime. She might be one of my favorite waifus of all time, actually. It took a while after the anime stopped airing to actually start getting merch for her, like especially in 2022. There was a lot of merch for her. I adore this figure. so much. I love her like simple kind of summery look here. She doesn't have her hat. She doesn't have her big coat on or anything like that, like she does in her standard art. One of the best parts about this figure is that I think I only paid like 2,800 yen for it, so around like 25 US dollars. And let me tell you, this is one of the best figures I've ever bought in terms of quality for that price. Her face looks really good. Her clothes look really good. I love the pose, her like 1 foot off of the platform. The one problem with this figure is that she is so not stable. Like sometimes if I just want to like pick her up by the legs, she'll just immediately come off of her platform. Like she doesn't really stay on the platform too well. And the day after I bought her and I unboxed her and I put her on the shelf, that night we had a really big earthquake and she fell off my shelf, like one of my tall shelves. Fortunately, absolutely no damage to the figure somehow, miraculously, but I really do have to watch her. I kind of have to put her far back into the shelf just in case an earthquake happens here, because I just feel like it's only a matter of like one earthquake and her falling off one more time and this wand right here is gonna snap. This will not be the last time you see an Elena figure in my collection. I need them all. This next figure might be a little bit surprising. Let me tell you, it's surprising for me too. But if you watch my other videos, you know that my husband's really into One Piece. He's not really a figure guy until it comes to One Piece. He had been looking for an Usopp figure for a long time, and like it's crazy how it's actually kind of hard to find Usopp, even though he's definitely one of the main characters of One Piece. We came across this one in Akihabara outside of an electronic, it wasn't even a figure store, it was an electronic store, and it was on markdown. I think I really think it was like 500 yen, like $5, like something stupid. I guess no one wants Usopp, but I do love this figure. I love his slingshot here. I think it was really well made. I love the platform. It looks like it could connect maybe to some other figures, so that's definitely possible. While I do read the One Piece manga and every once in a while I'll dive into the anime, I'm not an avid fan, but that doesn't keep One Piece out of my house or the collection, so yeah, we have an Usopp. I have one more set of figures that I want to show you guys, and then I'm gonna go through what I'll be looking for in 2023. I do not know how I'm supposed to show these off. I'm gonna do my best, okay? So these are, maybe I should do them one by one. So I know these are little tiny things and they're really not that expensive when compared to regular figures, like regular full-size figures, but I adore these Pokemon trainer little mini figures from Scale World is what they're called. And I am so lucky that I have found these at my grocery store. You might not know this about Japanese grocery stores, but there's like little tiny toy sections. Like there's a mix of candy and then toys. And so they sell these, and sometimes they'll go on sale, especially the girl trainers, because I guess a lot of like young boys, young kids want to buy these figures, but they don't want the girl ones. So I often find, like I think I found May for like 200 yen, like $2, less than $2 on discount at the supermarket. So I mean, and they look so nice for what they are, and they look really good on a shelf altogether, especially if you have like Brendan and May together. And then not too long after I got those, I got the Gen 4 trainers, Lucas and Dawn. Same story here. I got these on sale for like 200. I might have spent a little bit more on Dawn, but Lucas I definitely found for like 200 yen. And then I have this Lucas where his outfit is from Platinum. I still have not yet gotten the Platinum Dawn. I really try to hold off and get these on sale because originally they're about 600 yen each, and I really try hard to get them on sale at my local market when they're just thrown in the discount bin. But I would say if you're even slightly into Pokemon and you just love the aesthetic of the trainers, I mean, this is like so nostalgic, right? And they look so good together on a shelf. I mean, their stands are a little bit flimsy, and the quality is pretty good for, especially for the price that I've paid for them. They will look so good. And you can, Scale World also has Pokemon that you can buy too. The Pokemon usually never get discount binned. I think a lot of kids want to buy the Pokemon instead of the trainers, so I want to buy the trainers. So I really luck out in that aspect. But they look so good on a shelf altogether. Like if you have a shelf and you put like Pokemon stuff on it, they just look so good, even though they're so small. The last thing I want to talk about this video is figures that I'll be looking for in 2023. I highly recommend using Pinterest actually to keep up with figures that you have and figures that you want on a wish list. That's what I use. It works just really well for me. So obviously I talked about this at the top, the Okayu to go with the Corona. I would like that. I'm really looking into these Naruto gals. Like, yeah, I'm still into like, I've never left my Naruto phase, unfortunately. So I would like to find Kushina Uzumaki. That figure I one time found, where was it? It was actually at the Naruto park down in Kobe. but it was like for full retail price, and I know that if I go to a secondhand shop, I think I can find it cheaper. Actually, I'm almost sure I can find it cheaper than what it was. It was like $150 or something like that. The Sakura is cute too. Look, everyone hates Sakura. This will be the easiest figure to find, and it'll probably be the cheapest because everyone hates Sakura, so I mean, that's good for me because I'll be able to find her for really cheap. I love these Pokemon, these full-size Pokemon trainer ones. See, we have Dawn here with Piplup, and the problem is that they are so expensive. I think they're Kotobukiya figures. I always see them at Kotobukiya when I'm in Akihabara, and they're easily like $200. So they're like really nice. They're really, really nice. But I don't know if I want to spend $200 on a figure for Pokemon. If I ever find it for under $100, I know that's like a wishful thinking, but I have seen deals in Japan. Like I've seen crazy deals for figures that really could sell for a lot more in Japan, so never say never. If I find it for under $100, I'd probably pick it up. This Irene right here, both of these Irenes, the one where she's standing and the one where she's on her like motor scooter, I would love both of these. The motor scooter one is definitely a dream figure of mine. This one's more expensive, so I'm really gonna have to think about that purchase even if I find it out in the wild. But the one where she's standing, it actually matches one of my Nachiko figures that I have from Eurocamp as well. So I'd like to get that one so that I have the matching figures. That one's, I think I've seen her for like $12. Of course, more Elena's. Specifically this Elena where she has the hat and she's flying on her broomstick. That's probably my number one priority. Yeah, it's definitely my number one priority for like more expensive upscale figures. The Rizel Stout figure is one that I'm super interested in. This one, oh man, she's so gorgeous. I love the stand, I love her outfit, I love her weapon. This is a big priority too. If I find this one's been out for a few years, if I find it for a good price, I will probably pick it up. Oh my gosh, one of my biggest regrets, probably my biggest figure regret are these Elfenlied figures. I found these for 4,000 yen each at Nakano Broadway or something like that. Yeah, Nakano Broadway in Tokyo. And they were really cheap for what they were, and I really should have gotten them because I've not seen them since. I did not see them before that. I didn't see them after. They had both of them together. So it would have been 8,000 yen for both of them together, which honestly I think is a really good price for these. I know that people make fun of Elfenlied and like but it's like, you know, baby's first horror anime, so like I'm just nostalgic for it, and these are so cool. I do love these Darling in the Franxx figures, which honestly, this is Ichigo from Darling in the Franxx, and I love, this is from like the ending song for Darling in the Franxx, and there was a set of little Busters figures that had the fence, and like you connected the fences, and it was like 7 characters connected into like one big figure with the fence. I love that. I hope that they make more of these. I haven't really seen them, but I hope they make more. Anyway, I have more like this. Oh man, this would also be a priority. This Kanata no Astra one of Aries. Yeah, 02. I'm always looking to get more 02s, even though I have 2 or 3 of them right now. Of course, I've never come across the Nonon Biori ones ever. I have come across the Nendoroids, but not like the actual figures. So if I come across those, that's gonna be a hard one not to pick up. Anyways, that's all I have to show to you today. I hope you have a really good holiday season and a fantastic 2023. What figures did you pick up this year? I really want to know. Like, I seriously do want to know. Any of your figure tips, let me have them. What figures are you looking for next year? And hopefully I'll see you in future videos. Bye!